Yo, once again it's on. Back at you one more again, Realkenz TV in the house like kitchen sinks. Hopefully you like the video. Feel free to comment, definitely share, subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed, and hit that post notification. So anytime I bring you this heat and this action, guess what? You're amongst the first to receive it. Now with no further ado, let's get into this evening's video, if you will. You know, I had the opportunity, and not just the opportunity, but I want to say pleasure, if you will, of listening to a somber, apologetic Jay Williams speak for the first time. Technically not the first time, but a full video that he's released since he was released. You know, I actually watched the video twice, and I really feel that brother's pain. You know, I definitely feel where he was coming from. And, you know, you have people that say cruel things, and you also have people that maybe misconstrue what I say, the videos that I make. See, all I ever tried to do was just be a bridge for those individuals that have never been in the system to understand that allegations are allegations. To understand that just because you're arrested for something and it says this on the website doesn't necessarily mean that you did it. So I was trying to be that bridge so that individuals would understand that, you know, Jay is probably feeling this particular way while he's incarcerated. These are the things that are going through his mind. These are the things that, you know, he's probably thinking. These are the things that he wishes that he could go back and you know, replay, rewind. That's all I ever was. And that's all that I do. You know, you have people jump in your comments, and I had an individual today, and, you know, he wished me luck on my channel, but he told me that he wouldn't be back to my channel because I defend Jay Williams too much. That's what he said. I actually took the time to respond back to that gentleman, you know, and my thing is this about that. I've defended Jay Williams for the simple fact that you're innocent until proven guilty. See, I've been in the system. I've done over 10 years in the system. But so oftentimes, you're guilty, and then you have to prove yourself to be innocent. It's backwards. And especially if you don't have no money, you don't got no money, you pretty much have to take the best deal that they throw at you, knowing that you didn't even do the things that they're alleging. So until he's convicted, and even when he is convicted, man, we all mess up. And let me take that back. Even if he is convicted, hopefully he's not. But in the event that he is, I'm not going to write him off. You know, people think because you did certain things, or, you know, you're alleged to have done certain things, that he just write you off. And that's what I was telling the gentleman in my response. I'm not saying that he did it, and I'm not saying that he didn't do it. Again, as he stated, I wasn't there. But this is a guy that I watch, and this is a guy that I was supporting before these allegations. Well, all of a sudden now I'm just gonna, oh, well, they said he did this. Once again, as I stated in my earlier video, who is they? It's always they. They said this, they. Who is they? I'm just trying to figure it out. Everybody loves a winner, man. Everybody loves you when you're winning. You're a king when you're sitting on top, But you a fool when you finally drop. You know, everybody wants to give you the high fives. Everybody wants to, but when you at your lows, it's a whole lot of I told him so. See, I told y'all. He ain't never gonna change. He's just a convict. Always gonna be a convict. Man, I've heard those exact same things. I haven't been in trouble in years. And don't plan on getting in trouble. Just as Jay didn't plan on getting in trouble. But allow me to be that bridge. Hopefully you all have some time this evening. Allow me to be that bridge. Because Jay stated, there's so much that I want to say, but I can't say. My lawyer has already instructed me not to talk about the case. So he can't go into detail of what really happened. Only thing that I can guarantee is that having gone through this situation several times, unfortunately, there's nothing nice, nothing cute about it. I understand that it's not what they say. It's not exactly what they say. Could possibly be some of what they say. I don't know. But I would guarantee you, in most cases, it's never exactly what they say. I know in my case it wasn't. My case is, it was never exactly what they said that I did. You know, his story touched me because I was able to relate. My last case, I had done something, and it's basically called floating money at my bank. You know what I mean? White collar. Nothing major the way that I looked at it. Nothing major. It was nothing major. $1,700, $1,800. I replaced the money back into the account. Had an overzealous detective that knew me. We had bad history, bad blood between us. And he told me, anytime your name comes across my desk, just know that I'm coming for you. He told me that. Now, I bear the responsibility because even though he told me that, I still put myself in a situation that would allow him to come after me. Something that typically happens at a bank, they never really make a big deal out of it. At worst case scenario, they'll shut your account down. Well, they decided to prosecute me because somehow this detective learned of the situation. Now, I'm not getting into the details because this video is not really about me. I was wrong. I paid the money back immediately. However, being in a Commonwealth state, a lot of y'all ask me about a Commonwealth state. Commonwealth state is basically like any other state, but the Commonwealth is more harsh on crimes, more harsh on like for instance, in a non-Commonwealth state, if someone goes downtown and files a complaint against me, and then they later decide they want to drop the charges, a lot of times the charges will just be dismissed. Not all the time, but a lot of times the charges will simply be dismissed. In a Commonwealth state, okay, you want to drop the charges? No problem. The Commonwealth picks up the charges and they pursue the matter. So in my particular case, the bank didn't even want to pursue the case. There was nothing to pursue. I had paid it back. But the act was committed and they found a way to make it a crime. And so I get arrested. I never will forget this, man. I had a probation officer. I had a parole officer at the time. I go in to see my parole officer. I get arrested. I don't know what's going on because this had happened maybe 6 months prior to me getting arrested. When I get arrested, they don't want to tell me the charges. Once they do tell me the charges, I find out, okay, it's a misdemeanor. No problem. My bond is like, I don't know, $2,500. So I'm like, wow, for a misdemeanor, my bond is $2,500. I have court the very next day. I wait to go to court to see if the judge will give me a 10%, lower my bond to $250. In Kentucky, you don't automatically get a 10% bond. The judge has to lower your bond, or it could stay the same. So I was trying to get a 10% bond. If not, I could pay the $2,500. I go to court the next day. They had not enhanced, but they had bumped the charges up from a misdemeanor to a felony. It never even should have been a misdemeanor, but they bumped it up from a misdemeanor to a felony because they found a way to do so. They aggregated the charges. And extenuating circumstances made them a felony. So now I'm facing a felony. Money's paid back, everything. I never will forget. This is how my story relates to Jay Williams, because it all relates. Jay said, I'll say this before saying what I was about to say. Jay said that when those police officers got behind him and he seen those lights, he knew it was over. I know the feeling. Me personally, I wouldn't have ran, but at the same time, I know that sickening feeling. See, nothing's more sickening than going to jail when you've been out for a long time and you've been doing the right thing and you have some things going in your favor, and you get a taste of the good life. Now, when I say the good life, I'm not necessarily talking financially. Just being out with your family. Being out with your loved ones. Being able to go to the refrigerator when you want to. Being able to take a shower when you want to. Being able to have some privacy and use the bathroom and not have to be 3 feet away from the next person that's using the bathroom, to say the least. That's the good life to me. Just being able to just, hold your kids or spend time with your kids, just living. So I can imagine that all of that was going through his mind. I don't know what made the police get behind him. It's not my business. I don't know what I know why he ran, even though I don't agree with it, because you're only going to make matters worse. But in certain situations, and I'm not saying that it was his situation, sometimes, man, you got to do what you got to do. And only you all that have been through this system are really going to understand what I mean when I say that. Sometimes a good run beats a bad stance. And I'm going to leave that at that, as far as, why he may have ran, allegedly. But I can imagine that everything was just flashing in his mind. Prison, penitentiary, disappointing his kids, his wife, all of the people that follow him, on YouTube, all of the his employees, everything probably flashed and he panicked. Am I making excuses for him? Absolutely not. I'm simply saying I'm taking you down that road. So you got to ride with me, you got to vibe with me, and you got to think about it. Put your thinking caps on. I want you all to visualize, rather. So instead of your thinking caps, we're going to rewind that back. Put your visualization caps on. I never heard of that, but we kind of make up words and phrases on Realkenz, if you will. I can imagine that everything that he worked so hard to build in his life, to change, it just flashed before his very eyes. In the case that I was telling you all about, the police came to the door one day, banging on the door. I'm talking about banging on the door. They came as though I had killed somebody or did something, heinous. I'm talking about something white collar. It's 6 or 7 detectives out there. Remember I told you this detective had it in for me. I happened to be down the street when this whole ordeal took place. I was parked several houses down because what happened was when I was driving up to the house, I seen that the police were there. So I discreetly parked on the side of the road. Now, this particular day, it was raining. I never will forget. I'm parked on the side of the road and it was raining so bad. I had a beer. I had gone to the store. I'm not a big drinker. But that particular day I had gone to the store and I got me a beer. And while they were at the house, I seen detectives at the side of the house. I seen them at the back of the house. And they had their guns drawn. And I sit there as I watched from a distance with tears just streaming down my face. At that particular point in my life, I didn't know what I was going to do. I didn't know exactly what my next move was going to be. And I'm going to keep it all the way real with you. I thought about not even going on. I thought about ending it. Because the main thing that I feared was going back to prison. I know a lot of people would say, well, you shouldn't have put yourself in that situation and you wouldn't have to worry about going back to prison. Man, we shouldn't put ourselves in a lot of situations and we wouldn't have to worry about doing certain things. But we do. Not condoning it, not saying that it's right, but we're people and we make mistakes. We use poor judgment sometimes. And I thought about it, and I really thought about it, and I thought about it some more. That's how bad I didn't want to go back to prison. Prison is so terrible. That's why I get on here and I tell prison stories. Not to boast or brag, but what is there to brag about? You're around a bunch of men all day long. You're told what to do, when to do it. You can't go home to your family. A lot of times you can't see your family. Prison is awful, it's violent. And the shame and the disappointment was the main thing. The tears were streaming down my face. The shame and the disappointment of me having to tell my mother, Mom, I have to go back to prison. I was on parole, so I know I'm going back. I have to tell my kids, Daddy has to go back to prison. So as the tears rolled down my face and I drank my beer, I really, really thought about just not being here anymore. And I'm going to say this to say I had the means to do what I needed to do right then and there. And I'm going to just leave it at that. And I called my mom and I talked to her. And I broke down crying. I was already crying. Don't get me wrong. The tears was coming, but it's nothing like hearing your mother's voice. It's nothing like hearing your mother's voice. That alone, when you're going through some things, will make you cry. And, I just talked to her. I told her I loved her, and I didn't really tell her exactly what was going on. I just told her that I had some things going on. And, I really loved her, and I kind of left it at that. And after that conversation with my mother, I finished drinking my beer and I drove up to the house because I was only, I wasn't very far, but I was far enough to where they didn't see me. And I told them, I got out the car, I said, hey man, y'all can stop, man. Y'all can stop, I'm right here. And I put my hands up and they took me into custody. I didn't want to face it because of the fear of not necessarily being in prison, even though, prison is a dangerous place, but I'd been there, a couple times already, so I know my way around the prison. It was that disappointment of having to face my mother, having to face, the kids and let them know and tell them, Daddy got to go back to prison again. So just understand that sometimes people panic. Sometimes we don't make the best decisions, especially under pressure. Again, I'm not condoning anything, breaking the law, anything that Jay Williams may have done, but I do understand that at that exact moment when he seen those police lights, he panicked. Whatever happened prior to that, I don't know, but he panicked. The same way that I almost panicked. And had I panicked, Realkenz TV probably wouldn't be here to this day. Now, looking back, it was one of the best things I ever could have done. I got myself together. I got my life together. I did what I had to do. I was gone for a couple years, 2.5 years. But guess what? I was able to get back, mend relationships, my family, kids, friends, loved ones, and you all. Even though you didn't know me then, but just saying. And I'm here to talk about it and tell the story. And ever since then, I don't even cross the street wrong. As weird as it may sound. So I understand Jay Williams' situation at the time when he did what he did. But like he said, I wish he hadn't ran. But he did. And he just got to deal with, try to deal with the circumstances and the consequences, rather. And just all move forward and move on. So like I was saying earlier, when I'm addressing the haters, I'm not talking about the people that's saying, well, he gets what he gets, he shouldn't have done this, he shouldn't have done that, he shouldn't have broken the law. That's a right to, you all have a right to your opinion. When I say I'm addressing the haters, I'm talking about the people that's just, the egregious things that they're coming on here saying. Don't tear a person down, especially now. Never, actually, but, when you're going through a hard time and a rough spot, it's like certain people they want to see you fail. They want to see you lose. So I'm talking to all the people that are cheering negativity in jail time towards Jay Williams' way. So there's a thing in the streets we say, man, I wouldn't wish jail on my worst enemy. Nobody wishes jail on their worst enemy. You do something to some kids or something like that, that's different. But for the average crime or infractions or what have you, I wish jail on anyone. Hopefully Jay is able to Keep a clear head, a clear mind. Because what you all don't understand is that he's out. But guess what? This is going to be on his spirit, his soul, his mind at all times. Some nights he's not going to be able to sleep. Some nights, man, he might just break down crying. Some nights he's looking at his kid and he's knowing that there's a possibility that because of my actions, I've taken myself away from you. And the youngest probably really don't know what's going on at this moment, at this point in time. But Jay knows what's going on. So I'd imagine there are going to be times that maybe he's not dropping a video as often. Perhaps he's not his cheerful self as he normally is. I can guarantee you he's not going to be at all times. This may be a little extreme, but there's a saying that I've always heard. The only thing worse than death is the anticipation of death. And I would say prison, only thing worse than prison is anticipation. Because you know that you might go. And it's just like your days are numbered. And one day, when you got to face that judge, and they happen to give you that time, boom, you just gone. Hoping and praying that's not the case for Jay Williams. He's been here. He's done that. He knows the system. He knows how it works. Like he said, he has trouble getting a bond. He knows how it works. That's where all the pain is. I'm telling you. Painful situation. You'll hear me say it many times. I'm just a bridge, man. Hopefully you all will understand exactly what this man is going through. You know, a lot of people were saying, well, he should have jumped online earlier. He should have, thanked all the people that supported him. I can guarantee you, he just didn't, like he said, he just didn't, that motivation to get on here and do this. At the particular moment, all the negativity that he was probably seeing and reading, probably just didn't have a desire to jump on here. As much as he was appreciative for everyone that supported him, whether it was financially or the letters that he talked about that he received, or just the positive comments and the positivity that was sent his way, he was hurt. But at the same time, he caused it. And he knows that he caused it. And he acknowledged it. So you just deal with it. Get all your ducks in order. You prepare yourself just in case I do have to be away from my family for a little bit. You just deal with it. He talked about his relationship with God, the importance of God. And that's something that he's definitely something that we all need. So I'm not going to just pinpoint him. It's something that we all need. Relationship with our higher power, whoever your higher power may be, we all have to be in tune and in touch with our higher power. Can't do it on our own. Can't do it on our own. But it can be done. So it's just a little, I want to get those things off my mind. Once again, welcome home, Jay Williams. I know you're going to get things back in order. Continue to do the right thing. We all cheering for you. Like I said, everybody loves a winner. We all cheering for you, and hopefully, things work out. But I know things are going to work out regardless. However it goes, I know things are going to work out for you. Realkenz TV. Hopefully you liked the video. Feel free to comment, share, subscribe to the channel. Hit that post notification so anytime I bring you this heat and this action, guess what? You're amongst the first to receive it. Realkenz. Jay Williams. Let's live life. Positivity, man. Nothing but love. That's what we expressing over here, and that's what we handing out. No hate, straight love. We out.